Hello, everyone. Happy Friday evening. Welcome to another episode of The Witcher Final Age, the TTRPG campaign. I am Simon at Wandering DM. I'll be GMing tonight, and with me I have our trio of regular players. Lauren playing Ilona, the Elven Bard. We have Steven playing Kihir, Caridwin, Different Bedouir, the Nilfgaardian Knight, and Jillian playing Ariella, the Owl School Witcher. And last we left off, we were in Vizima, if I recall correctly, after the group is dealt with a particular thorn in their side called the Circle of Eight. Circle has been trying to engineer according to a one of their ex-member, I should say, a succubus, who's, oh yeah, that's going to be something. So I should announce that before we go into the rest of the, what was I going to say? The rest of the recap and all that. I dropped coffee all over my desk, which meant that I also ruined all of the notes I had taken from the last couple of weeks of streams, because I'm that type of person that writes notes down on paper. So, if I ever forget a name, or I'm not sure, I will trust you, dear players, to maybe call me up on it, if anything, but otherwise it should be okay. Priscilla was the name of that succubus who was part of the circle, and she's the one that stole Triss Marigold's book, the book that was taken from Baba Yaga, the first sorceress, and it was the plan of, well, the circle had plans, one of which included to have Foltest leave the castle on his way to a secret meeting with other kings, and something should have befallen Foltest. Potentially the same thing that befell King Henselt of Kedwin. But after investigating and a very good mic drop by Ilona, it was discovered that Foltest is actually not a Doppler or any some sort of monsters, or isn't under some type of spell. It's good old racist, sexist Foltest. So that was a good thing. The books were brought back to Triss, and thus the chapter on this part of your quest ended. You have dealt a serious blow to the circle. You do not know if they're going to bother you again, when they will. But having spoken with Triss, it's not the type of organization that would rush their plans. And so, you know, they might strike again. They might not. They might strike again tomorrow. They might strike again in 100 years. For now, all we can is to remain vigilant and go on about our lives. Which brings us to today. Today, not tonight. Today. In the streets of Vizima. As the group exits the castle, through the gate, out of the courtyard, and into the cobbled streets of Vizima, with now nary a thing to do. Or at least, might have things to do on the horizon. You might have plans, which we're going to get into, but for once no one's running after you, and you are not running after anyone. What do you do?
So I think Kahir would make try to make some sort of joke. He's not very good at it, but he would probably say something about, well, I guess it's time to train more, find food. What do you think, Ariella?
Hmm. Well, if I really don't have much to do, I would just go find more contracts. I need to keep busy somehow.
Well, we could go and hunt some more monsters. Of course, I could always use more practice refining my excellent sword skill. But a nice, carousing ruckus would be fun as well.
How do you mean by that?
Well, we've got some gold. We could spend it on alcohol, having a good time.
Well, like,
Ilona says, well, that's always my favorite thing to do with money.
See?
well, I haven't had much of an alcohol run in quite a bit. And I guess we do deserve it, after all. We did stop some plans. I guess we're gonna go get some alcohol!
There are
We're drinking.
plenty of taverns in Vizima. What are you aiming for? Something upscale, something dirty and shady, or...
Right in the middle.
Be right in the middle.
Okay, here's not rich enough for upscale, and he's not dirty enough for shady, so...
Then in that case, you might want to head outside of Vizima. Not so far out, just on the outskirts of town.
Right where it starts smelling bad again?
Actually, just when it starts smelling better a bit.
Okay.
You see, Vizima is a walled city in the middle of a river. It's built on an island. And thus there's not a lot of room. Most of the city is, had to build atop pre-existing buildings. There has never been like a good urban development. They don't have urbanists. They don't have those type of people. So it's kind of a mess, and the sewers don't really work. There should have been an aqueduct, but it's never gotten finished. It's bad. But outside of Vizima, to the south, maybe, a 5-minute walk out of the gates, you will find what you would call normally the suburbs of, another other word that I would have looked for, instead of suburb. Yeah, okay, it has to be suburb, because okay. Wow. Well, at least in French it has a pejorative meaning, which is what would have been the case in the world of The Witcher. It is the type of place where people that can't afford to live in the city will live. The type of place where non-humans would most likely be found.
Is that like the shanty town that grows up outside the castle walls? And then over the years actually builds brick buildings and stuff?
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Except that this one, because there are two shanty towns, if you will, on both sides of the river. Basically, almost equal size. But one is clearly non-human and much poorer and undefended. And the other one has more humans than non-humans. And each building has a little bit of a yard around it. So it's not as bad as... It's not as ghetto, if I can say, as the non-human district.
I mean, if they have yards, it's definitely a suburb. Cool.
And there's a, well, I'm not going to say giant hint, but it's a 2-story high building that acts as a coaching inn. It has, it's linked to a livery stable with, there's even a chapel and a small forge. All of this surrounded by a about like 3 feet high wooden palisade. There are tables outside. You can eat, drink, sleep, travel, repair your gear. It's like the all-in-one stop for travelers on their way to or from Vizima. So, medieval, the things you see on the highway, the rest areas, but it's the name of it again. Oof, brain tonight.
Rest area?
Rest area, yeah, like a rest stop.
Yeah.
Like an outpost sort?
Yeah. Place that all the 18-wheelers will eventually park and sleep. A truck stop. Thank you, Prax.
Oh, yeah, there are truck stops as well.
Well, they're called carriage stops.
Those are where trucks stop.
Hey, look at that. The DM is drinking his second 12-ounce coffee today, and I think he needs it. Anyway, it's kind of a nice place. Welcoming, and the prices aren't too expensive. When you approach the palisade, there's a notice board, which, Ariella, you're used to. This is where, anyone would post either news that they want to spread out, or even rumors that people might be interested in. Witcher contracts would find themselves nailed to those boards. And in the case of this specific establishment, the menu is also displayed. And the prices for rooms, for board, repair services by the blacksmith, everything's on there. And the prices aren't that bad. A room for the night is 5 gold crowns. It includes a fresh straw bed with 1 blanket. You can have more if you decide to pay more, and there's a common room that you can sleep in for a single gold piece, but it's first come, first serve. Otherwise, as far as food is concerned, they serve, pork, sausages, potatoes. They have ample beer and other, mead or alcoholic beverages. They even serve sweets while supplies last. And these go from between, 5 gold crown all the way up to 20 gold crown, depending on what you want.
Is anyone here talking as I pass through? Kahir probably wants to listen to the people. Is anyone here talking about those giant crows that flew through?
I'd say make an awareness check. There is indeed talk of the giant crows. A handful of farmers are gathered together, talking around the forge, so the sound of the hammer hitting the anvil drowns out most of the noise, but you get like bits here and there of their conversation, and they were startled by a flock of ghastly ravens that flew over their farms, scared the cattle, and even, from what one said, one of them even, just before mine eyes, turned into a person.
So, just make a mental note, they're shapeshifters.
I don't know why you would think that. Why would they be shapeshifters?
Ilona is going to go to the bar and be like, what is your, like, best wine you give to somebody? I can't do her voice right now.
It's okay.
What is your best wine that you give to somebody when you don't want to sell them your best wine?
I see you're well acquainted how taverns work. You've been offered the best wine before, I assume, lady?
I mean, frequently, yes.
Well, as far as my best wine, I go for a Beauclair White.
I'll have a couple bottles. Oh, God, I'm so sorry. I'm too tired to be Ilona. She'll order 2 bottles.
Yeah. All right. In that case, that comes up to 16 gold crowns.
Oh, that's pretty decent wine.
It is. His most expensive on the menu you saw. The bottle goes for 20. And it's on the menu itself. It's just simply called exotic wine.
I wanted to pull a, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I would like your $10 bottle of wine.
Yeah.
But, I wanted to say it in a Witcher way. 16 crowns, okay. So she'll just, camp out, find a nice, quiet table, corner table or something, and just, camp out with these 2 bottles of wine. And, put one on the table and pour 2 glasses, and then open the other and just start drinking out of the bottle.
Do you get a table outside or inside?
Is it a nice day?
It's sunny and the wind's warm.
Yeah, if it's a nice day, we'll have a patio.
All right.
Have a patio time.
So Ariella and Kahir, as you're just walking around the grounds, Ilona comes out holding 2 bottles of wine. Did you get glasses for everyone or just the bottles?
I got glasses for Kahir and Ariella.
Okay.
I did not get a glass for myself.
All right.
I wasn't sure if she was sharing, so Kahir probably goes and buys his own bottle as well.
Wine for the gentleman with the weird accent?
Oh, yes, please. Your best stuff.
You look like a fine connoisseur of wines.
I am an exotic gentleman myself, and what better for me than an exotic wine?
Then I should suggest the Beauclair White. It's got an exquisite taste, and it's a wine from the south, not the sort of cheap sour things that they make down in southern Temeria and Adern. No. This is proper wine made by people who worship the very grapes that they make it out of.
That sounds like some pretty impressive stuff.
Yes.
But will it get me drunk?
A gentleman of your stature? I don't think so. Beauclair White is the type of things that real men don't drink. Real men would drink Duany Stout. And there's an ad like behind him, like a wooden placard with like a drawing of a man with like...
It's got like the bounty man
out
on it.
Yeah, and it says like, real men drink. It's actually Sir... Sir, what's his name?
Oh, Fonar?
Yeah, Sir Fonar.
Oh, man. Kahir might froth up at the mouth a little at that.
I mean, you didn't know.
No, I didn't. But, I mean, look how impressive he is.
He's so
Blonde
beautiful.
hair in the wind. Right? Arms curled.
Wait, if... I have to say that if Alona saw that sign while she was ordering the wine, she would also order a glass of stout.
A Kidwini Stout.
Yes.
That's perfect, because Kahir was going to say, all right, give me one of those too.
So you get also 2 mugs of Kidwini Stout, which it's less expensive than the wine. It's 5 gold each.
Okay.
And these have the color of night and the texture of molasses.
Ooh.
It's not so much a liquid as it is a solid. Ariella.
Yay! I'm gonna look at the notice board to see if there's any contracts. Just before I go over the table where I just see Ilona with 2 ounces of wine and a mug of stout, and then I see here with a glass of stout.
You look at the... Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna go look at the notice board first, because there's always a way to get more money. I can always use more money. So I'm gonna go look at the notice board for any contracts.
There is one. By the way, thank you for the sub, Grant. There is a contract, actually. It's under a pile of other notices that were nailed on the board. And you take it. And it says something like this. Help is requested. Our farm has become victim or home to a monster. We have been driven out of our very own house. We fear for our livestock and we fear for our bees. Please, if anyone can come help, be you a gentle knight or a fierce witcher, come to the Bumblebee farm. And they say it's like 2 stones past the edge of the forest, left at the fork. You can't miss it. Follow the smell of honey. Once there, ask for Bumbledum or Bumblebee. And it's got a seal at the bottom, like a wax seal of a bee.
Can I just say outside the character that's so freaking adorable and hilarious?
Thank you.
Yep, I'm just gonna look at this, give a bit of a head tilt with the Bumblebee farm, and I'm just gonna roll this up, and I'm gonna go over to the patio table.
Alright.
Did I get my wine too?
Yep, you did. So
Ilona,
on the table outside. Yep.
Takes a sip of the stout, and she's never liked stout, and she goes, I don't actually like this. The man on the sign was just so beautiful.
I certainly concur in the amount of hair on that man's chest. I just thought I could grow some myself.
Want me to take the stout, Ilona?
Yeah, she'll hand you the stout, and then she'll
Nice.
she'll do the thing where she'll pour glasses from one bottle of wine for Kahir and Ariella, and then open her first the other bottle of wine and just start drinking it out of the bottle.
You chat and while away the time for a few minutes when a traveling merchant, his pack laden with goods, you can hear the jangle of pots and pans and various items strapped to the side of the bag. He's also carrying with him another like sack of something, though it smells earthy. He walks past your table, look at all three of you, and then doubles back and says, "Oh, what I see here, you're not usual faces around this place. Would you care
we're
to..."
not interested.
Oh. Well then, if you're not interested in my wares, maybe you're interested in a jolly good game of dice. Throw the bones, have some fun, make some coins on the side.
Kahir stops looking at him and like looks at Alona with these eyes that say, "Please, please."
She'll be like, "Do whatever you want and just keep."
I'll take you up on a game.
I need a bottle prop. She'll just keep drinking out of this bottle.
All right, just you? And, how about you, lass? And he looks at Ariella.
Well, by the time I get done with you, you might not have any more money to bet against her.
You know what? I'm down.
We'll see about
Let's
that.
do this.
The rules are very simple. We're gonna play with 5d6. It's, well, Lauren will remember what that is, and anyone who's played Witcher 1 or 2 would know what it is. It's dice poker.
You mean Yahtzee?
It's Yahtzee.
Yahtzee is great. Don't hate on Yahtzee.
As long as it's not that dice game from Kingdom Come, because I don't remember those rules.
Oof.
Or
Me neither.
we could play Banco.
We're just gonna do a quick round of Yahtzee, and that'll summarize the whole game. The whole multiple games, maybe. So the rules are simple. You roll 5d6 on roll 20, and then you can take any number of them and re-roll them, and then the total is what you will keep. I will roll last. I'll let you two roll first, but first, tell me, how much do you want to wager? He's gonna match up your
50.
Up to 30. He's
30.
He's gonna match up your NT up to 30. He's not gonna go any higher than that. He's when you say 50, he eyes you suspiciously. And he's
Can I intimidate him into it? I can be like, "What kind of man are you? Not even willing to wager in a fair game."
Sure,
if you were a real
make an
man,
intimidation check.
and then I go,
yeah. With
drinking this stout.
with your molassy stout. Suddenly, Kahir's hair starts blowing in the wind. His muscles grow twofold. Sure. What? What? That's a crit?
I think that's a crit.
Ah, yes, the game where I shouldn't ask anyone to roll anything because you always succeed. The merchant eyes you and says, "Well, you don't have the... I don't remember the voice, but you don't have the looks of a shark about you, sir. You're dressed in somewhat fine gear, and you look a bit dullard. I assume that you cannot cheat at any game whatsoever." And he sits down and he's like, "I will wager 60 crown.
Deal.
60. Ariella, are you in?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do 5. I just don't care. I'm just doing 5 because I'm not risking all my money. No. She's smart about it.
All right.
If she seems cheap, she's being smart.
Then he'll do 2 games, one for 5 and then one for 60.
When she says 5, Kahir just looks at her like,
I'm not gonna lose all my money in a day. I know better than that.
so how many rolls do we get?
All right. Well, we'll start with Ariella. Roll 5d6.
Okay.
All right. Then, just like in Yahtzee, you can take any numbers of these and re-roll them.
Which ones are the bad ones? Because I've never played Yahtzee.
Okay, so normally what you want to have is like doubles or triples or 4 of a kind or like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. Sorry. I'm gonna roll 2 of them. The 1 and the 4. See
Sure.
what happens.
So you got 4, 5, 6. Roll
Yep.
2.
Yep. 6 and another 4.
So you get double 6, double 4. He's going to re-roll 3 of them. The 5, 6, 3. He's going for like a bunch of 2s. And unfortunately he loses and gives you your 5 gold.
Yay!
Turning around to Kahir.
Do it.
He shows you his dice and he says, we're going to use the 2 of us the same set. Because this is, the stakes are a bit higher.
Of course.
So you roll 5d6.
Ilona wants to check the dice. Both sets.
Sure, make an awareness check.
She doesn't trust this guy.
Which...
I didn't get an extra 5 counts from him, so...
Can I use human perception instead?
Human perception would not be to check for the dice, but to check for the guy.
Okay, I'll check for the guy then. She knows.
All right. Yeah, to check if he's a like cheater or something of the.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Charlatan.
Mm-hmm. You notice that while he plays with one hand on his chin like this, his other hand under the table has a single die stuck between 2 fingers. And he's bent his 2 fingers like this on his thigh to try to hide the fact that he's holding it. But you were just looking him up and down. And
she's just gonna
slowly
kick him in the
back.
shins. You're gonna kick him in the shins so he drops it.
All right. So the moment that it's his turn to play, he won't have the die because you'll kick him at the opportune time.
Yes.
So which one did you roll, Kahir?
Oh wait, I did that wrong. Never mind. I'm keeping the 2 5s and the 2 1s.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
and then you re-rolled a 3 for a 3.
3 and got a 3.
Yeah.
All right. Without his cheating die,
Oh no! How did you do that?
he
You cheater!
No!
is going to stay there.
Yeah, he beat you.
And he says,
Okay.
well, it looks like you were not a shark after all, good sir. Thank you
See?
so much. And he
Hey.
takes all of you.
Sir,
Mm,
what if we just say you won? And she like reaches under the table because she's like dragged the dice over with her foot. I give you this back.
Well, I am nothing if not a shrewd businessman. I'm sure we can come to a deal. This die here could sell very, very well. It
Wait.
is special.
Yes. So give us your winnings for this dice.
Oh. No, I'll take the winnings, but I'll
Wait.
No,
give you the die.
No.
So- You were cheating this
That's
whole
not
time?
the way it works.
I did
Please
not
don't
cheat.
anger him. He's very drunk and he's full of alcohol.
I did not cheat you, good sir.
No, he didn't, but he was trying to.
And those are two different things. Here in human land, we make
don't bring my race into this.
Yeah.
Distinction between intent and act.
I'm just gonna start glaring at him. Go.
I'm just gonna start taking my gauntlets off.
I'm gonna glare at him with the Witcher.
Alright, I'm gonna try something.
I would like to go into verbal combat. If we're talking about what to do.
Oh, alright then.
I guess
I was gonna say, I'm gonna ask them for like a DC 60 intimidation, all three of them together. But verbal combat seems to be a bit more suited to what we're trying to do.
Yep.
I just really like verbal combat.
Let me get the page out for me, so I remember. Good. All right, All right, so that's my resolve. Is this important? Do I need to not write on this sheet of? Okay, that's good shit. That's a good sheet of paper. All right, resolve is down. I'll let you guys go first, as usual, with verbal combat.
Okay. I'm gonna let Alona go first.
Mm-hmm.
Because Alona's good at this.
I don't have my rules. Okay, they're there. What are the things that I can do? I could seduce him. That's always fun. Persuade, deceive, ridicule.
I mean, you could gang up on him and mass intimidate him into submission.
Let's... Oh, I maxed out my seduction last game. I'm gonna seduce him into it.
Of course you will. Of course.
Yep.
She'll just, like, lean over to him. Like, so he can see all of her. And be like, you said you were a shrewd businessman, yes? I'm
That
sure
I am.
Come to some sort of arrangement over the money and this dice, and potentially other things you could do for us or we could do for you. Do I roll my seduction?
Well, yes. And he's going to roll, oddly enough, resist coercion.
I'm not coercing him.
No, but that's the only thing he knows. He's going to try to remain professional and say that he's won his this game fair and square. And
I think I just crit him with my boobs.
Yep. That is a sentence. you I think that's on page 140. What happened?
Kieran!
He was being lewd.
Oh Jesus. For those that didn't see it, Kahir is doing
No, don't. No.
Some things are happening in private chat. That would be a +5 bonus damage, Alona.
Let's
+5
just
bonus
say that
damage.
here might be secretly lewd.
I like to
Steven
think
is
that
really...
I like to think that Kahir still has his breastplate on, so he's just and that's it.
Oh my god. Okay. Roll.
It's a D10 plus empathy, D6 plus empathy.
It's a D6 plus empathy plus 5 bonus damage?
Yep.
Okay. I can't type. I'm so tired. Plus. Oh, I'm sorry about this verbal combat, Simon.
Why? Ow.
I just rolled. I just rolled a 17. Oops.
So, I'll reiterate, he says that no, he's going to keep his winning. He won them fair and square. What do Kihir and Alona do?
Kihir and Ariella?
Kihir and Ariella, I'm sorry.
Here, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
No, you can go. I'm trying to hold back.
Okay, so I'm just gonna look at him. I'm gonna glare at him, look back at my two swords, then glare back at him. That's all I'm gonna do.
So that's intimidation?
Yes, I'm intimidating him. It's like, do not cheat with a Witcher in front of you. It does not end well. Which is basically what I'm trying to say.
Alright, roll for intimidate.
I think I actually upgraded my intimidation, so this is good. Intimidation. Do I get a bonus because there's a crit involved or no?
Huh?
Was there like a...
There's no other modifier, no.
Oh, okay. Okay. 14 is probably not going to end well.
He says, I don't know what you're implying in this, Lady Witcher, but I did not cheat, and thus I have nothing to fear. I am an honest person, and I have done nothing wrong. And he's trying to counter-argue. So if he rolls higher than you, he's actually going to damage you verbally.
Ow!
Which simply negates it. So
Yep.
you don't do damage, he doesn't do damage.
Yay! I really should use a luck point, but oh well. I negate the damage. Yes. Yeah, so we're just stare at each other now. It's like,
Well, he's talking to you, but most of his attention is still on Alona.
Yep. That's fine. At least I didn't get kicked out of it.
Yep. And what about Kihir?
Kahir does lean forward on the table, and he says, I'm sure we could come to some sort of agreement beneficial to both sides. And I think he's just like regular persuasion.
All right. Go with persuade. And he's going to look at you and say, you were the one who mocked my manhood by attempting to imply that I did not have the means to play. And I did, and I won, and now that I've won, you would like to have your crowns back. What does that say you about your manhood?
I could show you my manhood if you want me to.
Well, do you want to roll persuasion or you want to roll seduce? Ugh, I got a fumble. Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
That's a -2.
That's a -2.
I have to probably roll
So-
again because it's a 10 on the crit. I mean, the fumble.
Technically, yes. You're right. You're right. So he's at -10, which means that you have a plus 26 over, which means that it's going to be full damage. It's a d6 plus your empathy divided by 2.
Huh?
So what's your empathy stat?
Math. 7.
It's D6 divided by 2 plus
Oh, it's
empathy.
d6, sorry. So it's 1d3 plus 7. Plus 15. So 24.
Yep.
That would have one-shotted him. You succeeded your verbal combat by using persuasion as your last check. So you have convinced them to agree with you, and he will reluctantly agree to hand you your crowns back. I see that you have some very persuasive arguments.
What did you say your name was?
My name is Martin.
she'll just like take off her her mandolin and be like, Martin the merchant cheats at dice.
Now that
Martin the merchant, he lays with mice.
Oh, that's very good.
Well, I mean, I've learned from the best.
well, I won't. I don't have to stay here and be subject
No, you don't.
to your. So he
I'll
hands.
take this dice too. Goodbye.
Throw it at him.
He drops all of the gold and leaves in a huff.
What's my fancy new dice?
Basically, it's a die that always rolls a 6.
Interesting.
So, you figured that there might have been a set of 6 dice that each one rolls a specific number.
Yeah.
So
Well,
can I get my 60 back and
Oh,
divide the
you-
other 60 between
yeah.
Ilona and Ariella?
There's a pile of 120 crowns. And a lot of people looking in your direction.
Drinks on the house?
Yeah!
drinks on the house.
Woo!
Alright, take off. What do you buy
Everybody
everyone? Like, the
around.
cheapest thing?
I think she buys everybody fancy boy ale.
I thought we were going to buy everybody one of these stouts.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
buy
okay,
everybody a
so-
stout! And she's just gonna start chugging her own stout and not touch it.
That's going to be, let's say, 50 crown.
It's not too bad.
Because it's 10 people at 5 gold crowns apiece.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Alright. You,
I'll
I'll
take
do it.
25
I'll do
out of
it if
mine.
we get +2 reputation.
you
Ooh.
get a +1 reputation called Generous.
Woo!
So you have a new reputation that can give you a
Yay.
+1 if you play on it, called Generous.
Where does reputation go?
I don't
Um,
remember.
Okay,
I've
I'll just keep
been-
looking for it.
I've been putting it in notes and skills and modifiers because there isn't.
There isn't a...
Reputation is in background.
Oh yeah, reputation, I see it here. There's even a level for it.
Wait,
Whoops,
where?
why did I...
Oops. Uh-oh.
Well, Triss fumbled.
I didn't know you could roll reputation.
So
Yeah, it's
there's
gonna click on the eye.
so we're just rolling a +1. Is that it?
It's
Yeah.
plus.
Hey!
Well, you don't have to roll it.
I pressed the eye and that's what it
I
gave
just
me.
wanted to see
So-
how reputation full I was.
So
Sure.
generous.
Yeah.
Gives +1 to rep. There you go.
I have so much reputation if I decided to use it.
That's the only good reputation I have.
Everything else is bad.
Yeah,
Um,
mine is bad. I don't remember mine, but that's fine.
And thus the evening passes with
Cool.
much merriment. Yes.
Alona gets super. She gets really drunk. And she
Sure.
goes, and no, but she goes, Ariella,
Yes, Solana?
you think you could do something with me, for me, both, tomorrow?
That would depend what we need help with.
Well, I figure if we go a little bit down the river, it won't be so disgusting. And then I could take a bath.
Oh. And you need someone to guard you as you do it.
I mean, sort of. I figured you might want one too, and Kihir gets so awkward when I bathe. I like having somebody to talk to, you know? Back at home, we all bathed together in the river. It was... I don't know. I don't understand how the Dwan do it in their boxes and by themselves. It sounds very boring. And you just sit in this, like, stagnant, dirty water. Anyway. If you'd like to come bathe with me in the river, or, you know, make sure I don't die while I bathe in the river.
Sure. That sounds... sorry, I forgot what I was going to say, but... Sure.
It's okay, we're all drunk.
Sure, I'd be fine with that.
Wonderful.
I forgot how valid the sentence, make sure I don't die while I bathe in the river, is in The Witcher, because it could actually be dangerous.
It's a really bad...
It's like...
Yeah.
It's like, it's not, I'm afraid I might drown, it's, I'm afraid there might be something. I figure
and it's
you...
valid.
Yeah, you spend the night at the inn?
Yeah.
Do you? Alright. Because of your enormous generosity, and, the amount of crowns you brought the innkeep for today, you don't have to pay for a room for the night.
Yay.
Yay!
Do we each get our own rooms, or is it just like, here is a room for all of you?
Sorry. No, you get each your own...
Okay.
Well, actually, I should say it's a room for all three of you, but
Okay.
it's like 3 different beds.
Oh, okay.
It's like a
That's-
room that would fit
That's
4
less
people.
fun, but sure.
The innkeep still has to make some money, and if you all take the private rooms, unless you want to pay for them, then
No,
yeah,
no, it's fine. We'll,
I'm good.
We'll take the hostel room. It's
It's like, don't look a gift room in the mouth.
no. I just thought it would be more fun if we all just ended up on the same bed. This like ridiculous, like drunken pile.
I mean, sure.
I just feel
See,
like
no,
I just
that's
feel
what
like we're,
happens. There's 3 beds, but we all end up in the same bed anyway.
Yeah, I just feel like we're like, you know, 3
I-
bottles of wine and several glasses of stout down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's nice about that stout? Is you can't get sick on it because it's so heavy that it never comes back up.
Blech.
It just sits in your stomach.
Yeah. She's like, he was so beautiful. His stout is so disappointing. And like halfway through the night, she'll just like go around telling people like, I knew him, you know.
He slept with him.
I wouldn't say that. Maybe not.
No, but it's like the guy on the picture. The guy on the pic. I know him.
Yeah, I did. He's a very good lover.
A lot of the peasants drinking said stout ask you if the stout made him a better lover.
I don't know, honestly. We didn't really drink much or talk about drinking.
All right then.
But maybe he was a very good lover. She says, like winking extravagantly at the barkeep.
And the barkeep just replies like, "Yeah, what the lady said. You yeah, you're gonna want to drink some more. It takes at least 3 pints to invigorate your manhood."
This is terrible, and I love it.
Okay, his manhood's already been invigorated, and he's passed out in a corner somewhere.
The girls are gonna have to drag you upstairs in your armor.
Mm-hmm. I think mostly Ariella and Ilona will just be behind, like, kind of pushing him.
Yep, definitely.
Wobble wobble.
Or-
Wobble.
Or, I mean, you weekend at Bernie's going to Nilfgaard.
Exactly.
Hello, I am Sir Keir, with the visor always down, and the head that just goes.
That is me.
The next morning, Ilona is just like spooning, like being a very ineffectual big spoon for Ariella. Just like soup, like cuddled up super close. Just like
And I figure it's you take like a certain amount of room on the bed, and then there's Ariella squeezed between Kahir and yourself. Kahir
like,
has an arm and a leg off the bed.
Yeah, probably.
Because there's like a foot and a half of free room next to Ilona, but she's just been pushing you guys all night, closer and closer to the edge.
No, she's not like a. She's more like a backpack than like a,
okay.
I'm gonna push somebody off the bed.
Yeah, I think Ariella would be literally uncomfortable with this. She does not want to be just put in so tightly.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's
And Ilona also wakes up last. Because I want to see the scene between Kahir and Ariella when this happens. Please do this for me.
I think Kahir would be stretched out like this, and he would just open his eyes and yawn and stretch and say, "Good morning."
I don't want to be in this position. Let me go.
Look comfortable enough. Did you sleep well?
Fine. I slept fine.
I'm sorry if my vigorous snoring kept you up.
Ilona's still just like,
After all we've been through, I'm used to it by now.
I heard from someone once that it's worse when I drink. Oh, you wanted to get up. I'm sorry. And like Kahir's in that weird position where he can't really sit up because he'd fall off the bed if he did.
Mm-hmm.
So he does that weird like scoot to try and like, and it takes way too long to be comfortable for anybody watching. And then finally he gets up.
The height of dexterity and agility.
yeah. We've all been here before, very clearly. We've all been in this.
Yep.
I like to picture that it's
Ilona is still like clinging to Ariella in her sleep, by the way.
Thanks for moving, but I'm still kind of stuck. I'm still stuck.
No, it's like a kitten. When you have an elf sleeping on you, you can't move. You can't wake them up.
I guess I'm gonna have to stay here till Ilona wakes up.
Do you say that out loud?
No, I just say very quietly.
Can I roll awareness to see if I hear that? As if Kahir hears that, he's just going to crawl back into you.
No.
No, like, I want that. Just you hear it and that happens.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say it quietly, so is it like a deception that I have to do?
No, it would be awareness on Kahir's part. That would be like a DC, I don't know, 10.
All right, here we go.
Fumble! You tear your eardrum trying to listen. Oh, of course it's another crit. Yeah, you think too loud, Ariella, and he hears you and just rolls back into the hay.
Right.
I think though, Ilona, like in her sleep, will like turn around and then like cuddle up into Kahir's chest, so that if Ariella would like to leave, she can.
She's just gonna get up in the most I don't know, like dexterous or whatever way, just to not disturb them, and just try and stretch. She needs her exercise.
And you manage to get up.
Yeah.
Ilona is still fast asleep.
She was very drunk.
Kahir is, well, technically awake, but is now incapable of moving. For he has
does
an elf.
Kahir really want to move? Let's be real.
It's okay, Kira. You can be honest with us. We won't judge.
I mean,
No, he's happy where he is.
How long does it take for Ilona to get up? To wake up?
how, like, am I there? Can you hear me? Can
yeah.
you okay.
Yeah.
I got like a message. I think like if there's sun, you know that part of the morning when the sun shines through the windows just enough for it to get like uncomfortably hot.
Yeah.
Especially like when there's somebody else in the bed. She like that, like she sleeps till then, and she kind of like rolls like, oh. And she like opens her eyes a little bit, and the light shines in her face, and she's just like, oh no. And she like buries her face into Kahir's chest. Kahir.
Good morning. Or afternoon. I'm not sure, honestly.
Hi.
It's almost noon at this point.
I would have gone and gotten the whole group breakfast. I would have been nice and gotten my good friend's breakfast.
Oh, that's nice. She was, Kahir, did I make any mistakes last night?
Kahir smiles and he says, no, you were perfect.
Good. I don't want to get us kicked out of another inn.
No, nothing like that happened. I think they were all quite pleased. We spent a lot of coin.
We did. I'm sorry you won that coin.
I didn't win it. I actually lost it. It was you who won us the coin.
Yeah, he was...
A scoundrel.
Yeah, he'll make that money back.
Of course.
Cheating somebody else, it's fine.
We should have stopped him in his tracks.
If we try and stop everybody who wants to cheat at dice... Actually, that would make a very good song.
Just
She,
remember
like,
my line.
Goes to get up and like goes to sit up and like reach for her notebook, but then like the blood rushes to her head and she's like, no.
Also, the mattress is a giant pile of hay, so even sitting up is a challenge.
Yeah. And she like buries her face in Kahir's chest again and says, why do the most beautiful things have the most terrible consequences, Kahir?
I ask myself that every day, Ilona.
It starts smelling of burning flesh.
Excuse me?
Which is
that breakfast?
Yeah, for those uninitiated, burning human skin has the same smell as bacon.
Gross. Why didn't you just say it smells like bacon? Why did you have to do that?
Oh, yeah,
We're
that
in
would
the
have been
witchery
a
world.
winky dink.
But yeah, it smells like overcooked bacon. And Ariella comes in the room holding 3 plates. The cook is not the best. The food is
Perfect.
charred. You know when you have like a toast that's completely black and you have to scrape the black off? Because it's like too... Yeah, that's what they did. that's what they... But hey, it's free.
I always liked my bacon crunchy anyway.
It is so crunchy that you just pick it up and it disintegrates. It just breaks at nothing.
Ilona will like eat the food and be like, you know, the nice thing about that terrible stout is that it didn't make me that sick.
Well, it's pretty thick.
Agreed.
Is anybody going to tell Ilona that she ended up like spooning Ariella, or is this just like did Kahira and Ariella have this like we will never speak of this again moment?
No, I don't think so. She's not gonna say anything about it though.
Why were we all in the same bed?
Well,
Or at least, why was I in bed with you, Kahir?
he stops for a minute and like looks at her, and then you can tell like the cogs are moving in his head. And he says, isn't this the closest to the door?
Oh, yes.
That's the only thing I can make of it.
Yes, I think we had to carry you.
That I do remember. Because you were passed out.
My apologies. I just wanted to look like that guy on the stout advertisement.
You are much better looking than Fona.
Well, thank you.
Ilona, you've been awake for a few minutes now. You see that the 3 other beds in the room have not been touched. They've not been slept in. At all.
We all sleep in the same bed. Oh. That's nice. She'll like drink her coffee.
There's a lot of grains in that coffee, unfortunately.
Ari,
Helps to wake you up.
we were going to... I think I'm going to need that bath earlier than I expected.
Alright. Let's go then.
Kahir, would you like to come?
Sure, yes. I mean, if you'd like me to be there.
Well, I just think it might be nicer for us all to all be together in case any more portals show up full of wizards.
I
True.
do not want to be reminded of that right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ariella. I know this must be very hard for you. All the better for us to stay together.
Agreed. And Kahir stands, trying to be heroic and brave, but his knees are a little wobbly.
Do you want someone to escort you to the river then, Kahir? Because you seem to be having some issues.
No, I've got this. I might just be a little drunk still.
All right, so we go find
Unless-
a clean
yeah.
place, a clean private place in the river.
You're gonna have to bring all of your gear along with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
But-
are.
We were expecting
So you
that.
leave, yeah. No, I just wanted to make sure. So you leave the inn, you walk for, a couple minutes, find a bend in the river where the current isn't as strong. The river is somewhat narrower in this place and not as deep as elsewhere. And so you have, and there are a few trees around to give you like some sort of privacy from people traveling the road. But it's so far the best spot, and the water is almost see-through.
Okay.
Like it's
So yeah, Ilona will like very routinely like undress. It's not sexual for her. This is the one thing that is unsexual about Ilona. No. And like get in the water, and then like turn around and say, "I had an idea."
I'm listening.
Kahir says nothing.
Which direction is Kahir facing?
Probably the opposite direction.
Okay, just checking.
Okay.
I'm looking directly at Ilona.
I mean, we have the same parts. It's fine.
And she's also, as she's listening, she's also proceeding to get undressed.
Yeah.
To go to the river.
What if you taught me how to swim?
Well, it is a good skill to learn in case something happens.
I mean, if it wasn't for Idric that one time, I would be dead.
I feel like I could say the same thing.
About the swimming. I thought you could swim, Kahir.
Well, yes, I mean, rudimentary. I was just thinking of that one time with that hag. If it weren't for Edric, I'd probably be dead.
Yes. I hope he's okay.
Me
I do
too.
miss him.
Ariana may not be able to express it, but she feels very uncomfortable right now with this conversation.
Well, she can't.
Yeah, I
It's
can't
not
even
that she.
express.
No, you can still say it.
Yeah.
It's just like your emotions were mostly stripped, so you it's weird, but you technically wouldn't even be able to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. So
It's like you should.
I know
You should, and you can say like, "Wow, I'm uncomfortable," yet you aren't.
Yeah. She's hiding really well, but she knows she should be uncomfortable with this because she misses him a lot. And she's not even mad at him. That's the worst part. She's not even mad at him for anything because it's not his fault. She's just not even gonna say anything in this conversation.
All right, so there's no swimming skill, but just Ilona can't swim. That was something
We've established, yeah.
we established.
Well, you
And
can-
she'll turn around and say, Kahir, are you sure you don't want to come in?
Well,
I can go put on some underthings if you'd like.
well, I don't want you to be uncomfortable. And he starts taking his boots off.
By the way, Ariella, you would, Kahir's seen this before, but you at this point would see the scarring on the on her back, the magical scars, or the scars from the magic, and they cover about all, like, from the base of her neck to her shoulder blades, like it in the way that Lichtenberg figures do. Like, it started at the back of her neck and then like spiraled out down to cover her shoulder blades.
She would notice that but not say anything.
Yeah.
And she's gonna at this point be completely undressed and go into the river.
Kahir has totally forgotten that Ariella is part of this equation when he turns around.
Yep, and you would also see like small scars on her as well from some of her hunting, from her witchering stuff.
Yeah.
So most of the scars you would see is very common with monster scars and such.
I don't know if there's anything narratively else that I want to like achieve.
Well, I was gonna say if the scene ends there, yeah, you can definitely start
learning
all
how to
three
swim.
of you. Yeah, the river's not deep enough to.
Swim.
Huh? Sorry.
I think Ariella would probably know how to swim.
Yeah, as a witcher, definitely.
I feel like it would be the other two teaching Ilona how to swim.
And it's, it's a good start. There's maybe like 5 foot of water.
She can like float now on her back.
You can paddle like a dog.
Yeah.
I'm an elf. I'm gracious.
I'm graceful.
Graceful. Sorry. Woof. But I'd say you'd probably have penalties to check at the moment to try to swim. Like, you don't swim well enough but you can't say I don't know how to swim anymore, because you sort of know.
She won't like immediately start drowning as soon as she enters deep water.
No, that's it. Like, if you were ever to fall underwater, you would
again.
You at least won't have like that panicky feeling where, oh my god, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And thus you finish bathing. All 3 of you dress back up. And where are you heading?
I think at this point I think Ariel's gonna actually show the contact that she got from the tavern to Ilona and here.
Bumblebee Farm.
Yeah, I was gonna show him the Bumblebee Farm contract. So I saw this and I thought this looked unique.
I mean, it looks like a trap, honestly. It's asking for witches specifically.
Maybe it's a real big monster.
A real big monster that can speak and write?
No, the contract mentions that the people that wrote the contract were driven out of their homes by a monster.
Ilona's still hungover.
It's cool. Kahir just doesn't say anything.
It's not a bunch of bee people being driven away.
If there was such a Bumblebee monsters, I actually could fight them with the bonus because I'm an expert in the insectoid monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting that out there.
You guys thought we were playing Witcher tonight. We're playing the bee movie.
I'm sorry, okay?
It's alright.
We're all bees. We're like the bee movie.
We're, before you head out to the farm and everything.
Before.
I would just say it's worth checking out anyway.
We're gonna go on break, and if you want, which is something I think I forgot to mention during the announcements at the top of the show, I have been gifted a copy of the Director's Cut for The Witcher 1 on Steam. If you are interested, if you've never played The Witcher, but you like the game and what you see here, you can see a lot of the lore of The Witcher and all that, and play as Geralt, the OG Witcher, on computers. So if you're interested, just type in, let's go with B-movie, B-E-E, space movie, in chat, and we'll pick someone at random to give them the copy. See you in a few minutes. Ciao.
Bye.
Bumblebee! Hello, everyone. The group, following the instruction found on the contract, made their way to Bumblebee Farm. Actually, not completely to Bumblebee Farm. Because before you get there, as you walk through the woods, you end up at this split in the road, the fork that the contract mentioned.
Yep.
And in that fork was just put up a tent. There's a small fire with a pot over it, bubbling liquid inside, a few sacks outside of the tent, some of which are used to hold the canvas down. Oof.
You okay there?
I got hiccups.
Oh no! Quick, someone in chat scare him. Go.
And 2 halflings.
I'm pregnant.
Congratulations.
It wasn't fast enough. I was muted.
And even then, I mean, I am unfortunately not the type of person to be scared by those statements. But yeah.
No, never mind.
Oh, you meant Ilona's pregnant? Or, anyway.
No, she can't get pregnant.
That's true. That's true. I forgot why.
She just can't. She's never been able to. We never got into it, like...
No, and let's not get into it right now, because 2 halflings come out of the tent. They're both wearing a sort of like wool jacket over a shirt, short, torn up breeches, held together by just a rope, a simple rope. They're barefoot, of course, and they wave at you. Hey-o, travelers! If I were you, I'd avoid going deeper in the forest. It's, a vile monster has taken residence further down the road. I'd turn back if I were you, unless... And the first one turns to the other. Do you think that they're coming for the contract? He's like, I don't know, dumb. Are you here for the contract we left?
And Arya's gonna pull out the contract and go, indeed we are.
Oh. Thank you, Melly Telly. We need help.
Seem to be having some sort of problem on your farm.
Problem is too light a word. It's we've been chased away from our own homes. We lost everything. First it came for our food. And then it went after our livestock. Oh, I don't know what happened to the hives. The monster could have gotten into them by now. It's been over 4 days. No one has come to our help because we're just 2 wee halflings, and no one's not gonna do anything for a small apiary run by 2 halflings.
Okay, then have you seen this monster? Do you know what it looks like? I might be able to get better detail on what it is so that I know how to eliminate it properly. I'm Bumblebee, and that's my brother Bumbledum, from the Bumblebee farm. Dom might have seen. Well, go ahead, Dom. And the other halfling takes a step forward and says, "I'm sorry, miss. I've never
ever seen it, but I have heard it, if that can help. Before we left, I was trying to go into the cellar, you see, because I think the beast dwells in the cellar, and I thought I would drive it out with a forge and a butcher knife. A torch and a butcher knife. And, well, I didn't make it all the way to the cellar, you see. I heard it. It's deep, bestial growl echoing across and all around. It came from, I don't know. I got scared and I ran back out. I told my brother to pack up our things and that we should leave, that this place was unsafe. It can come in and out of our house whenever it wants. Take whatever it pleases. The gods know only how long this beast has been residing in here before it decided to strike at Missy.
Missy? Who is Missy?
The other halfling says, Missy's our prized goat. She was both our pet and also a good source of milk and cheese. And we've had her since we were just very, very little.
Okay, so outside of character, would Ariella know what the growl would come? What kind of monster would make that kind of growl that Dum described?
Make a Witcher training check.
Yay! My skill. 18.
So it's an apiary. It's a monster that dwells in dark places. Probably it went after a goat, after food. Growls. Might be a bear.
Think about a bear? A bear.
It's the best explanation. It doesn't seem like it's a monster. It's more like probably an animal.
Bear.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, so Ariel's gonna think for a moment. Go. Alright.
Oh, and we have means to pay.
I was just gonna see if we could discuss payment next. You read my mind.
The apiary is sort of a very profitable business, because, everyone needs honey and or wax. There's a cat. Hello, kitten. They can offer you, give me 2 seconds and grab my notes. Yes, kitten, what's up? Uh-huh. Anything else you'd like to say? I'm just rubbing yourself on my microphone, is that it? They can pay you 20 gold crown and a good ample supply of honey and honey related products.
Do it.
She's gonna think about it for one moment. Thinks about the crowns, and then the honey. And then thinks about. She stops thinking, goes, I say that's decent. Alright, we have yourselves a witcher.
Oh.
I'll deal with your problem.
We're going to have our farm back, brother. And Dominic goes like, yeah, oh, I can't wait to sleep in an actual bed. Our farm is just nary a few yards that way. Just keep walking down the path and keep to your left, and you'll see them. You'll see it's a tiny hut made of stone with a thatched roof, and there you should hear the buzzing of bees still, unless the nests have been completely destroyed.
Alright, thank you for the direction. Me and my companions will be on our way, and when we return, we will have eliminated your problem.
We'll wait for you here.
Of course.
That sounds good. We'd hate for you to get hurt.
And they wave you goodbye. And you see them, they're so confident in your abilities that they even start packing their stuff before you're even out of sight.
Yep, so I'm gonna start heading down that way.
It takes, about a half hour to get to their place. They're nary a few yards away thing, but was not accurate. But you find the hut in a clearing on the right side of the road, and you notice that you're getting closer and closer to the apiary because you can see the bees way before you see.
I can also
What?
smell. But I also smell the honey as well.
What is it, Kihir?
You said because. Sorry, that's my last one. Until 9. Okay, it's 9.
You know what? There's a fiend in your way. Roll initiative.
Boy, guys, gonna take this
Sorry,
field
I'll be
with
good.
our hands.
You'll be good.
We'll be very good.
So, tiny hut. Stone. That's a good idea. Kihir dies of a heart attack. A stone tiny cottage surrounded by just so many beehives. They're all propped up on sort of like, not gonna say a table, but kind of. So you have like these posts and a wooden top holding the beehives. Some at like a certain level. Some are high, some are lower, some are actually out of reach for a halfling. And you notice that here and there in the yard are tiny ladders or stools or what have you that they can use to climb up to these hives. Most of them are also labeled. Some the label have gone, but you have like a few that are written, it's just written wax, honey, mead. So it seems like they're running they're running their business well. And they know what they're doing. Definitely. There was a fenced-in area, but the fence has been open and trampled in places. Tracks of a goat and probably chicken, or at least large birds, can be seen in the area.
Large bird tracks.
Yep. Not like large bird. I'm talking like large.
Oh,
bird.
yeah. Is there any like bear tracks that I see? Since I'm kind of suspecting a bear.
You look around the house, and you don't see any bear tracks. Not within the immediate vicinity, anyway.
Okay.
They gave you the keys to their house, by the way. You have the key
sweet.
to go in. I forgot about that.
Nice.
Yes, Alona?
I just had a thing. I read my... No, it's fine. We're good.
All right.
I want to help find the bear.
Are there any decent sized bodies of water around?
There's a well.
Why?
Okay. No, I was just trying to think of what it could be if it wasn't a bear.
Out game. I'm just gonna tell you, we don't need to fight the bear.
We're just gonna chat with honey.
No, I'm just
That's a
gonna
plan.
lead it away
Don't seduce.
because I'm an elf and animals are friendly unless provoked.
I wasn't planning on killing a bear if it was a bear. We could just scare it away, lead it away
I'm
with
just gonna
honey.
be like, hey bear, you should probably go. And the bear will be like, yeah, that's cool. And then it'll go because...
Alright.
But then it might come back.
Well, we'll just lead it away.
Where would we lead a bear to?
I don't know, somewhere where there's more food.
Bearville.
We're gonna have to push this bear away with our bare hands.
Anyway, that's my plan. I'm just gonna reason with the bear because all animals are my friends.
But yeah, if it's an animal and you go in first, as long as nobody else threatened them, they're friendly towards you.
But what if it's not a bear? Because I'm still trying to look for tracks that point to a bear.
Yeah, so far there hasn't been any tracks.
They said he heard something in the cellar. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go check the cellar then.
All right.
I'm gonna follow you because I am very concerned for your safety.
Oh,
I'll
thank
bring
you.
up the rear.
Because I don't want anyone getting hurt on the job because this is mainly a Witcher job. But...
Your first challenge today will be to realize that this cottage is halfling sized.
Okay.
And so when you go in, you almost have to go in on all fours.
I mean, how tall are the halflings?
About 3 feet tall.
Okay.
Can Kahir duck walk?
Are they high ceilinged?
Not that much. Basically, the ceiling is about where your neck would be. So
like Alona is short.
If you're, well, unless you're like between 3 to 4 feet tall,
okay,
you could walk straight. Otherwise, you have to bend over.
Okay.
And if you're over 6 feet, you might have to walk on all fours.
I think Ilona, being the smallest, will suggest that she just go check it out. And then if there's actually anything in there, then they can try and crawl into the cottage.
Well, fighting in there, if it was something else, isn't going to be the easiest thing.
Exactly. So I'll just lead it out if it's... Exactly. So I'll just lead it out if it's something else.
But if it is something else, I worry for you.
I know you do, Kahir. I promise I'll be okay.
All right. You can tell he doesn't really agree, but he outwardly agrees.
Ilona will go in, but she'll be like as like stealthy as she can.
Sure, make a stealth check.
Is stealth a stat?
Yeah.
Stealth is a skill, not a stat.
It's
But it is, yeah.
I mean,
It's under dexterity, I think.
it's a thing.
dexterity.
Huh. That's fun. I don't have any. 14.
14. You start to, crawl your way across the... Well, not necessarily crawl, but stealthily move up to a trap that leads to the cellar. You open the trap up. Of course, it's a halfling-sized cellar. Not much higher than the cottage itself is. So you have to go down. Well, you don't even need to use a ladder to go down. And then you peer in the darkness and notice something peculiar. Aside from broken boxes and ripped bags of food and other stuff, there seems to have been maybe like spare clothing that's been torn apart. You have an overturned bushel of bushel of apples. Most of them now rotten, many of them eaten in places, and a tunnel that leads away from the cellar. You can't really see the tunnel when you go down into the cellar. You have to really, go down and then turn completely around to see that tunnel leading away from the farm.
How big is the tunnel?
Big enough to let a halfling through, crawling on all fours.
So not big. It's like too big for, or too small for
Too small
Ilona.
for a bear. Ilona could, but you'd probably be crawling and, try to... You'd have to probably, elbow your way through, try to get, like, some of the places...
She thinks about it, but she just took a bath, so she's going to go back out and say, "Well, it's not a bear," and explain what she saw.
So what would be that small that growled so large?
Can I do another Witcher training check to see if with this new information?
Definitely.
Yep. Okay. It's a 21.
So something that would eat fruits, at the very least, dig tunnels, growl, and be about the size of a halfling. Your other bet would be neckers. Maybe a lone necker that just lost its way and sniffed a source of food somewhere and just followed its nose. And since neckers tend to dwell underground, it's more likely that they would have dug their way into the cellar than anything else. Because otherwise, you think about monsters, and it's not a lot of other monsters that could fit the... Like, oh, the growl, okay, could be like a baby griffin, yeah, but baby griffin would have flown over, stole the cattle, well, the goat or like the chicken or what have you, and then just leave with them. It wouldn't have dug up a tunnel underground. Everything else, especially insectoids, are just out of the question. They don't growl.
Yeah. I really wished it was a giant bee. I really wished it was.
One big bee.
I don't know why. I just wished it was a giant bee.
One big bee.
Neckers are gross.
Yeah. Yeah, I just relay my information that it possibly could be a necker, a lone necker in the area. We would have to stay here a little longer until it comes back to be sure.
Well, you could, I suppose. That might be the best way of doing it.
Because
I don't want to go through that tunnel.
Well, it will come back, that's for sure. Since
What did you want to say, Kahir? What did you want to say, Kahir?
I was thinking if the cellar was safe, perhaps there's some more investigation we could do down there. Maybe try and find tracks or...
Oh, perhaps.
Fur? That is, if it's not a necker.
Well, that's the only...
I don't think the cellar could fit really more than one of us, though, so...
I can look through it. I'm more the Witcher in this group. Quite literally, this is my job.
We all fit in one bed.
Why don't we let Ariella look at, and then, and you and I can wait outside, and if these are creatures, we won't be able to fight them in the cellar anyway.
That makes sense.
So, I'm gonna start heading into that cellar myself to take a look around a bit more.
All right. Make an awareness check.
Okay. But I'm gonna be careful because this is weird. This is I rolled an 18.
you don't see much else that Ilona had seen before, but there's something that caught your attention. Is the cellar has been trampled. Whatever this is, it's been coming and going so often that there aren't any definite tracks left behind. But going on from that information, you know that whatever beast it is seems to have made it a habit of coming and going through that tunnel.
Okay.
Instead of going to it, you would almost have a better chance of waiting it out.
Yeah.
Since going through the tunnel puts you at a disadvantage. Because you can't draw your sword.
Yep. So the best thing to do is to wait it out. Just like wait upstairs until I can see the creature and then eliminate it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back upstairs. I'll let them know that I'm going to wait this out and then make the surprise attack. Seems to be the best strategy.
Well, I guess that is an okay strategy. It's better than what I was thinking.
What are you thinking, dear?
Well, with all the digging we've done, I was thinking maybe if we tunneled down to the tunnel from up here, but we have no way of really knowing where it was going.
Yes.
It has made a habit of coming back here, so this is our best chance of getting at it while it's still preoccupied.
I think this might be at least the faster idea, darling.
And the smartest. We don't want to disrupt its movements when we're hunting it down.
Right. Smart.
So I'll stay in the house and I'll wait it out till I know it's in the cellar. And you two can stay out here just in case I need some help.
Yeah, we'll keep watch if something is coming from outside.
There is... Oh, yep. Sorry.
I wanted to look at, like, the pen where they were keeping the goat.
Mm-hmm.
Is it broken?
Yeah, some of the... Well, the door itself to the pen has been left open. But there's one section of the... It's very shoddy fencing that got pushed over.
Okay.
Is it shoddy enough that the wind would have done it? Or...
No, but that an angry or scared goat could have probably charged through and... Because it's really, if I can describe it, so you have, like, posts at, like, equidistant from one another. And then it's just, like, these two logs, branches, sticks, whatever they could find that was sturdy enough, about the width of a man's wrists. And I mean a human wrist, not a halfling, that they've just put to, like, fence the goat in. It could have almost also just jumped over it.
Okay.
But they're yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry. Does it look like it was broken from the inside?
From the inside out, yep.
Okay.
The two sections of wood are currently lying outside of the pen.
Cool.
While they're waiting, Ilona will turn to Kihir and say, I did think that your idea was a good one.
Well, I'm not sure if it was a good one. I was just trying to perhaps contribute to the team. With Edric not here, I've worried about the team, and I just thought maybe I could contribute more.
Well, I think you do a fine job of contributing the way you are now. Do you feel like you're not pulling your own weight?
Well, if it involves a sword in my hand, of course, but ideas. That's what we need.
I think there's more to you than just a sword. You're the best of us, Kihir.
What do you mean?
You're the most honorable. You think the most of other people, the least selfish of us all. That's important, more important even than clever ideas.
Well, thank you, Ilona. I appreciate it. He looks bashful and looks away from you and down at the ground.
Are we okay?
Well,
Okay.
yes, I believe so. Why wouldn't we be?
I just worry that since
What I said?
Novigrad, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable.
I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't. And he looks right into your eyes and he says, I don't feel any different than I did then.
Does it bother you? Like this morning, I can try and keep my
No.
distance more.
It doesn't bother me. I'm fine with where the gods have put me.
I'm sorry I can't give you what you need, what you deserve.
But perhaps you do. I am content. Though tell me, if I had have killed that man outside of Novigrad, would you feel different of me?
No. You swore an oath. I think if you had killed that man, you would have done Braith a lot of good. I'm not convinced you didn't kill that man, honestly.
I think he holds back a chuckle and says, you may be right about that. Ilona, I appreciate you as a person. You mean a lot to me.
Ilona just looks like almost she's trying not to show how upset and hurt she is in this conversation, and she says, you are very dear to me, Kihir.
I think he just nods his head and just doesn't say anything.
Yeah. Sorry, we can go back to fighting monsters.
No, it was a beautiful scene. That's all I have to say.
It was beautiful. Don't apologize. It's not all about fighting monsters.
And that's how the time passes, or how you pass the time until nightfall. When Ariella, you hear a sort of scratching noise coming from the cellar.
I'm gonna try and take a peek into the cellar and see what I can see.
You hear in the cellar
Is my medallion vibrating at this point as well?
Not at all. And then you catch a glimpse of something orange.
Wait, what?
Make a stealth check, please.
Okay.
And you have a +2 to your stealth because you bathed recently.
I bathed. Okay. That's nice. So I just had to just put in a 2. 19.
Excuse me?
What? What? What?
Because she bathed?
Yes, because it's a stealth check to
If she's not as
hide.
smellable.
Yeah, that's it.
She's not as
Because she doesn't
smelly?
smell as well. What did you guys think you smelled like after everything you waded through?
A dumpster.
I mean, Ilona, I assume that Ilona tries to bathe pretty regularly.
Kahir smelled like a dumpster.
Well, for Alona, I figure.
Also, she smells like lavender. Thank you very much. She wears perfume.
See, in that case, you would not get the +2.
Yep. I don't do that kind of stuff.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
So I rolled a 19. Hey!
The creature does not see you. So it keeps looking around. Knocks one of the apple. The apple rolls into your line of sight as you're peering through the opened trap. And then you see it, or at least part of its face. A muzzle that ends with a black nose.
It's a freaking dog, isn't it?
Eyes that are black, surrounded by a yellow iris. It looks up in your direction, startled, and just goes, "Arr! Arr, arr!" And it runs away in the tunnel.
Damn it! So I'm guessing it's a dog.
It's probably a dog.
Good boy. Do you have a tennis ball?
So I'm
You'd
dealing
have to
with
invent tennis first.
So we're dealing with a dog, but it has a muzzle on it.
No, well, it's yeah, no, I just meant its snout. Its snout is the word I was looking for.
I just sigh at this, and I'm gonna go over to the others.
Mm-hmm.
You look to see a very disappointed look on her face. Goes, well, it's not a necker.
Oh no. What is it?
It's a dog.
Like a big dog?
Was it a big dog or no?
You didn't see enough of it.
No, I wouldn't know. It saw me and then scurried off.
A hellhound.
No, my medallion would have vibrated if it was a hellhound.
A dog. Alona's gonna stand up and she's gonna walk in the direction that she thinks the tunnel went and go looking for the dog.
Uh-huh. Figure the tunnel is in the woodlands, so your elven magical senses would go off. You do not trip and fall down the hole. The tunnel is not that long. It essentially is like it exits. You can still see the farm where the tunnel exits. It's like 50 feet away.
Yeah, I was gonna say dogs don't really like tunnel.
They don't. But there it is. There's a tunnel. It comes out. And you see fresh. It's just out enough that Ariella didn't go all the way there looking for the bear. Because there aren't no tracks around since the dog goes through that tunnel.
Huh.
She's just so disappointed with herself.
Do I see the dog?
I'll go ahead and say yes. Here, I'll put it on roll 20.
Is it a cute dog? This is the best day.
It is this dog.
I love them.
It is
Oh my god!
most of its fur on the top of its head, down its back, and all over his paws are of a golden brown, like toasted marshmallows. It's got white coming from the middle of its forehead and covering the snout and the two jowls, and then it goes down the neck. Right now, the white is brown and matted. The dog looks famished and afraid, but when it sees you, it feebly wags its tail and barks.
Hello, darling. Hello.
Bark, bark.
She's
Kahir
gonna
just sits down.
go in her food or in like her bag and like try and find some food and hold it out.
The dog charges at you, and it
Hello.
pigs out on the food.
She'll like pet it and like try and calm it.
It's dirty and muddy, and you can feel the ribs in some places. And the dog just starts nuzzling you and nudging you with its head.
Oh, you poor thing! You must be so lonely and hungry. And she's gonna look at Ariella and Kahir like, I want this dog. Please, can we have this dog?
Kahir's eyes say yes.
Ariella's just gonna go over to the tunnel and see if there's any reason that the dog actually dug this tunnel. Because now she's just kind of suspicious about all this.
Well, you see that the dog is well, covered in mud, so it definitely walked into the tunnel.
Yeah.
But its fur is so soaked in that mud that it probably went in and out that tunnel multiple times, to the point where it might have been the creature that dug the tunnel in the first place.
Okay. I was just gonna investigate the tunnel itself to see if it was man-made or beast-made.
It looks beast-made.
Okay. She looks so I feel like in a way her face can show disappointment because she can't express any emotion but just a blankness.
Mm-hmm.
But she shouldn't feel, but she should be but at least it's an easy problem to get rid of at least.
Oh, we're not getting rid of it.
I was wondering what we were going to name it.
No. Well, this is something that I've never encountered once before, but I don't think. But the dog doesn't look feral, so I don't think it'd be right to hurt it.
Bark.
No, we would never hurt it. We're going to keep it.
We're going.
Yes.
I always wanted a dog.
A good knight needs a dog. Oh, the knight and his proud dog. Oh, this is going to be wonderful.
Bark. Bark, bark. And it
Does
goes
it let
and
me
runs
pet it?
around. Yeah, well, it runs around both Kahir and Ariella and sniffs you out, and then runs in circles in front of like all three of you, and then stops, and then look at all three of you and keep barking, and then turns around and leaves.
Oh, do you need us? Okay, she'll follow the dog.
No,
I
Jimmy's
guess
stuck
we're
in a
following
well.
Alright, I guess we're going to, I guess we're following the dog.
Definitely following the dog.
And it keeps doing that for a mile.
That's a very long time.
Yeah.
And you happen upon a small cliff. Not the deepest fall, but definitely a fall. Just before the cliff, without any checks, you see wagon tracks veering off a trail and into the ravine, which is about, I'd say, like 20 feet lower. And the dog just starts sliding down the ravine, barking. And at the bottom of the ravine, you see a broken down merchant's cart, a dead horse.
Oh.
And then the dog goes like behind the cart, so out of your sight, and keeps barking.
Yeah, Ilona will follow.
Yeah, we're sliding down. Wee.
I'm gonna need a check for you to.
What was Kahir gonna do?
Oh.
Kahir feels bad for a moment and hope it isn't the merchant that we accosted earlier.
So what do I have to do?
Well, now it is.
No!
Right? That's why I said it out loud.
No!
All three of you, I'll require an athletics check for you to
Athletics?
slide down
Okay,
the hole.
athletics.
I should be good at that, right?
Where's my athletics?
That's the question of my life.
Oh, there it is. I see it. Ba-ba-da-ba-da.
Yeah, isn't it in like dexterity?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
dexterity
it is.
skill.
Aha!
And
I am
that's
so dexterous.
15.
That's a 13 for me. Oh no, Kahir! He still fumbles
Whoa!
better than me.
Okay, here, can you roll an extra d10?
Oh,
What?
slip, slide, and away.
The...
Whoa!
Oh my god! Kahir, roll another d10.
Doggo! I got a 0. I got a 0.
Finally someone misses a check in this game.
Do I just tumble head over heels?
Yeah, the DC was a 15.
I was like, ooh, look a pity.
So,
Alona didn't get it.
Ilona
Yeah.
didn't get it, but not by much, so she's not gonna hurt herself that much. She basically just, slides down and then hooks her foot on a root that was coming out of the side of that cliff and just tumbles over, face plants in the dirt.
Oh, man.
But nothing dangerous. Ilona would lose 2 HP.
Okay.
Oh, my.
Wee.
Is that like 2 point per missed?
No.
So it was like 30.
Someone who rolled a 0, you would take damage that could be enough to kill someone.
Oh, no. Is this the way Kahir goes?
Yep, it's the way Kahir goes.
Oh, my God.
Wait, are you serious?
Well, no, I don't know. Kahir is going to take 19 points of damage.
That would be so perfect.
No.
Yes, it would. It's like the most anticlimactic death ever.
Yes, you take 19 points of damage on your torso. So if you have armor on your torso, you're good. You reduce it by that amount. Oh, same thing for you,
Have I healed
Ilona.
any HP?
Huh?
Well, since we slept, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you guys are
Yeah, we would be fine.
fine.
19 points of damage.
Yep.
Well, what?
That's half of your HP, man.
Brilliant.
The duel was less of a problem than falling down a cliff.
Gravity, man. It'll do it every time.
Like, let me just imagine a scenario right now. I just see Kahir just try to slide down, trips on the first thing that he encounters, and then starts rolling down
Uh-huh.
Alona again.
And he crashes.
This
Yep.
is literally Jack and Jill is what happened. Jack and Jill went, except they're going down the hill to fetch a dog. And then Kahir fell down and broke his crown. And Ilona came tumbling after.
Yep,
Yeah,
and like also for Alona, you're mostly the way down. Then one little root gets your foot and you face plant the bottom, while Ariella just glides carefully as she can straight to the bottom safely.
Jill face planted while Jack broke his back.
Kahir sits up, hurting, and says, "Did I win the race?"
I think you did, darling.
You were the
Was it
first
worth
one.
it?
I'm not sure.
Bark.
Pull myself up.
Yeah, Ilona will go over to the dog and
Yeah,
check.
me too.
Yeah, the dog's behind the cart. It's running around in a circle. What you see on the other side of the cart is stuck under part of the cart is a merchant.
No.
It's not the
Merchant.
same.
No, it's not the same. It's this merchant that's been there for maybe a week.
Oh no.
And all around him are various food stuff, bits of clothes, anything that the dog could fetch from the hut.
Simon, why? I hate you. This was supposed to be a nice episode. I said no sad things. I said no. I'm sorry. I have to X this. I can't. I'm too sad. I'm being 100% serious. I can't.
Well, then it's an overturned card with no one under.
I'm sorry. I can't.
And yet the dog lives here.
Okay. Maybe there like the
There's
dog,
a jar with like treats in it in the back, maybe, and
that
the
he's
dog
trying
just
to get at.
right.
Or the dog's just a kleptomaniac and he's been like
Stealing
subtly
things off of
stealing from the
travelers.
halflings. But yeah, it lives in the remains of that cart. Bart.
Guess it just wanted to show us its home.
Yes.
Which is pretty far away.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, I'm not one for looking after animals. I do have buckwheat, but that's a different story.
Well,
I don't think we should leave this dog here.
no, I don't think we should either.
Well, I guess if we take it with us, we are kind of eliminating the problem.
It's true.
I did say we would take care of it, but I did not say how.
We're and she like pets the dog some more. We're literally going to take care of it.
Your hand is sticky.
It's covered in honey.
Yep.
Hi.
The dog is covered in honey. In some places, anyway.
Has it been into the honey sack?
No, there was no honey in the cellar.
Huh.
How
How did it get covered in honey?
I don't know.
Hmm.
We never found that goat either.
I get.
She's gonna look at the dog and say, "Dear,
Bart.
where did you find that honey?"
It just goes inside the cart. By the way, by cart, I mean it's not just like a simple cart that you would pull. It's the size of a coach.
Oh, like a covered wagon.
Like a
kind of
covered,
thing?
yeah, almost like a covered wagon, but smaller.
I'm gonna look inside the wagon as the dog goes in.
There's a lot of crates and jars and stuff marked with the same seal of a bee on it.
Interesting.
Ilona, you find, while the wagon's owner cannot be found, you find something that you recognize as an elf.
Oh.
Inside the wagon is painted a hawk.
Does that mean something that somebody
Yes.
who knows what the Witcher does?
No. It's something that an elf would know, but that I was about to explain.
Okay.
The hawkers, or in Elder speech, the Havakars, are basically humans that trade with the Scoia'tael. They smuggle arms, food, medicine, what have you, from perfectly legitimate businesses. They normally, everything that they do is technically legal, except that they sell stuff to terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like this cart, this wagon, and all of its content were to go to the Scoia'tael.
Those fools. Well, I suppose we should go back to whoever had this dog. I think just cut their losses and ran when whatever attacked this cart happened, and I don't think they're coming back, so we might as well just go. Fine, they're just...
Now I wonder, how did this cart rear off into this ravine?
Holding his head, Kahir says, probably the same way I did.
Make an awareness, deduction check, sorry, Ariella.
Hey, 21.
And as you look at it, and you go back up the cliff, the path was far enough away from the edge that it could not be an accident like what happened to Kahir. Someone must have driven the cart off. And as you look at the tracks and everything, you hear branches crack behind you. And a figure appears. But we'll know what the figure looks like next week, because she'll be played by our good friend, Kiana.
Whoa.
Yay!
Yay!
So we'll end it here, because it's the moment where I needed to end anyway.
And I was just wondering how the cart got reamed off the road.
That's what we'll know next week.
Yay!
Is it next week, though? Oh, no, wait, it might be the 22nd.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I think
I'll
you said
fix
it was the 22nd.
I'll fix something up.
We'll fix it in post. It's fine.
We'll fix it in post. Don't worry.
We'll just be some, like, elfy people. It could just be, like, a Scoia'tael somebody.
Oh, no, but it's gonna have to... It's with Kiana's appearance. It's our new little story arc.
Ah, fun.
Oh, never mind.
So, let's just go around and do outros. How about that?
Yeah. Okay.
We'll start with Jillian.
Hey. Hi, everybody. I'm doing a singing thing, but I don't care. My name is Jillian. I'm known as G for Gaming X on Twitter. You can follow me on there, and I'm also known as G for Gaming 1 on Twitch. I do a lot of PS4 variety stream stuff. I'm currently playing Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm having a lot of fun with that. And also on Tuesdays, you can find me on the RPG Lab for our all-female cast of the Inquisition. It's really fun. Go check it out. Yeah.
Steven.
Hi, everybody. Bye, everybody. I'm Steven. I'm doing a Steven thing because I'm Steven. I'm on Twitter at wolfwizard_, talking about RPGs and D&D and surf guitar and other things if you want to come hang out and have fun times. I'm also on a podcast, Monster Hearts 2, called Tabled Hearts. It's you can find that at off-thetable.com. Always get the dashes and the underscores mixed up.
I think it's a dash.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a dash. It's a cool monster-y game where monsters fighting beach wizards, but it's great. And I recently released a game called The Deep Dark. You can get it at drivethrurpg.com. It's a game about dungeon delving and keeping your promises and helping your friends, and it's pretty cool. And also, I have a Patreon, Wolf Wizard as well, where I'm going to begin regularly releasing notes and essays that I'm writing about a new game I'm developing.
Ooh. Awesome. And
So
Lauren.
Hello! I thought I was muted, but I wasn't. My name is Lauren. I am JL_NaceGirl on Twitter. I play games all over the internet. You can see my regular streaming schedule on my pinned tweet on Twitter. I also now stream on my own channel, twitch.tv/starvingsoubrette. I play one-player tabletop RPGs. Right now I've been playing a lot of Quill. I usually stream on Saturdays or Sundays. I might not stream this weekend though, but you can check out my VODs on my Twitter or also on YouTube/Starving Soubrette. And I run a podcast called Too Many RPGs. It is a show where we talk to creators and fans of actual play about the shows that they love and why they love them. We are currently looking for new guests. So if you go to our Twitter at Too Many RPGs, you can fill out that form and we will look over and you might get to come talk with us on the show. So definitely give that a look. And I had a really fun time. I'm sorry I ruined your plans with the dog, but I'm really happy that we have a dog now. I'm going to spend all of next week naming the dog.
The main part of it is you get a dog. That was all I needed to do for this week. This was the first line of my prep is like, get them a dog. And so I did. Because I fell in love with that picture and I was like, they need to have it.
I want it. Cool. It's a very cute dog.
It is.
I can't show it to you because
I put it on the overlay for a split second.
It's a good dog.
I mean,
it's a good boy.
CDPR can come knock at my door. And I am Simon. Thanks everyone for coming tonight. Thanks everyone who hung out in chat. I had a lot of fun. We had a fun, very alcohol-filled first half anyway. My entire schedule is posted on my Twitter. You just need to go to the profile page. It's pinned at the top. That being said, tomorrow afternoon we'll be hosting our first charity game here, benefiting the Trevor Project. So if you want to come watch, come donate. It's a Pulp Cthulhu, so Cthulhu in the Old West game, and any donation that we receive, all the money will be sent to the Trevor Project. Also, every donor, no matter how much you give, will get a free copy of the Lovecraftian Handbook and the Weird West Handbook by Magen Press. So come watch us slowly lose our minds in the hot and dry western deserts of America, while everything you do to screw with our lives is going to benefit a very, very, very good charity organization. So come one, come all. Otherwise, I will see you on Sunday on Shattered Eye, or otherwise right here on Monday for Dark Matter. Ciao, everyone. Have a good night and have a good weekend.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.